Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about dating. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a thinker, and that's what we're thinking about today. So I'm pretty sure so many people have so many thoughts on this. So I have Lilli here who's going to really help us think about this in a whole new way. So thank you so much, Lilli, for coming onto my show and sharing your time and your perspective with me. I'm really excited for this. Let's just dive right in. When you hear the words dating or just the word dating, what does that make you think about?
Well, it used to make me think about dread. It used to make me think about like kind of pain. It used to make me think that I don't know if what your status is, Mitzi, or what anyone who's listening in the audience, what their status is, but I used to tell everyone that dating sucks. It's hard out there. You can't find the right people. Everyone sucks. It used to be like that for me. But now dating is, well, first of all, it's my passion. Because of what I've learned through my process of healing and growth and learning who I am at my core and kind of de-shedding and unlayering all of these things that it had kind of like kept me in the same unhealthy patterns in dating. Now I think about dating as alignment, dating as a source of true fulfillment, as a source of inspiration, as a source of honing in on who you truly are so you can be a magnetic woman or magnetic man, who's ever listening, to really attract the person that is right for you.
Absolutely, I agree. I think when I used to think of dating, thankfully I am engaged and I'm
Oh,
happy,
no.
and you know what I mean. I no longer have to do that dating game, but I was single for a very long time. So that dating game, yes, for me, before my self-healing and before my self-love and before my self-discovery journey, I
Hmm.
was on the same boat as you. Dating sucks. Everybody's so weird. Why are they like this?
Hmm.
Like you meet the
Hmm.
weirdest people. They come out of the under the rocks, you know what I mean, with these dating
Yes.
sites and places and hookups and blind dates. Like you don't even realize these people exist until you actually have to sit down and across from them and you realize these people don't know how to talk. These people don't know how to act. You know what I mean? But then when you start to self-discover yourself and you start to learn to love yourself, you start to realize what you like, what you don't like, you put up your boundaries, you know what is for you and what is not. So when you're talking about, oh, it's about alignment, oh my goodness, I agree because now
Mhm.
you know, okay, this person is not for me, but you're for somebody else. And I
Mm.
said that to somebody one time and he got so upset. And I was just like, I just have to be honest. And this is the most honest way. I can't just ghost people anymore because it's doing something inside of me that I can't bear anymore. So I have to
Mhm.
confront these things, you know? So I was like, unfortunately, we can't go forward. I have to tell you face to face because I can't just say it in a text. You know, I have to own this, you know?
Mhm.
And he was just so upset, like, why me? I'm a great human being. I'm a great man. I got this, I got that. And I was like, you are great. You are amazing. You are a beautiful human being, and you're gonna do great things with the person that you are meant to be with.
Mm.
I'm just not that person. You
Mhm.
have the right person for you. And if I come in between you and that person that you're meant to be with, then I will do you a disjustice and I will do myself a
Mhm.
disjustice. And I think
Mhm.
when we realize that and we can have that type of comprehension, dating gets, like you said, a little bit easier and a little bit like, okay, it gets exciting because you get to
Mhm.
really connect with people on a different level that sometimes they don't even realize is happening. So, I mean, for
Yeah.
you, how do you realize like it's aligning?
I would say too, just to add on to what you're saying, Mitzi, I'm so glad you've gone through this process because it really is, it's such a calm and connected and centering experience when people can talk a lot about self-love, right? Like you can talk about, this whole thing about you need more self-love in order for somebody to love you. And I think what tends to happen is if you recognize that you need more self-love, the self-love that you give yourself and that you're striving is actually kind of still kind of an unhealthy love. It can be a transactional type of thing. Like people will go say, for example, like I remember used to saying this to myself, oh, I'm just going to go get my nails done because I love myself. But really, what I really wanted is for my self-love to kind of get out of my head and get into my body, meaning that I wanted my behaviors to be loving. Like, who do I set my boundaries with? Do I choose the right people? Do I
Yeah.
speak up when I feel uncomfortable? Do it like, the courageous thing that you did, Mitzi, when you were like, I don't think this is for you, but I'm going to have this hard conversation. It was obviously hard because you got upset, right?
Yeah.
Well, that is like when I know that you kind of transitioned, because I've been through this so many times with my clients, but I can know when you kind of transition when the hard things that you have unconsciously or subconsciously been avoiding for a really long time, you do that for yourself, not for
Yeah.
anybody else, but for yourself. So dating, my clients and I view dating as a learning experience now. Like it's a
Mm,
learning experience
yeah.
on this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And it isn't other people telling you what you like and you don't like. I don't know if you ever got to this point, Mitzi, but I got so frustrated in my dating journey and a lot of my clients do as well, where they were, really asking other people around them, whether that be family or friends or even coaches or even therapists, like for advice, but they hadn't really touched in on their intuition or they had lost their intuition. So like
Yeah.
something that I always heard was, oh, just go have fun. Well, the fun, Lily, it was not the Lily that was attracting healthy relationships. The fun
Yeah.
Lily was out there doing things that was self-sabotaging, self-sacrificing, giving her body when maybe that she shouldn't have, to someone that didn't deserve it. So
Exactly.
when you're talking about alignment, that's, one thing that we're talking about is are most of the different kind of parts of you inside of you, the one that is, one part that's overthinking and one part that's doing this. There's a lot of
Mhm.
things that happen inside of ourselves that no one talks about. But are
Exactly.
most of the parts inside of you, the parts of yourself, are they mostly aligned with who you are and what you want? And in order to see that is do your behaviors line up, do your actions line up with your words? Do you say you're going to do something and you do it? Or do you say you're not going to text him, but you end up texting him and it goes down this route of anxious, anxiety, overthinking, all of those things. Are your thoughts more negative or more positive? Are they are they like self enhancing or are they self-deprecating, right? So it's this
Yeah.
whole thing of it sounds like you went through this kind of process of healing and inner alignment and healing any past wounds that may have been kind of attracting these unhealthy, toxic, non-spiritual, relationships or people that were really there to teach you something, but you didn't learn
Exactly.
then, but you're going to keep attracting that person until you learn the lessons that you're meant to learn.
Exactly. And I think one thing that sticks with me now, somebody once said to me that when we look out into other people and we see the things that we don't like,
Hmm.
usually that's a little red flag for us to reflect and take time to reflect and consider what are those things that we don't like in other people in us. Because
Hmm.
majority of the time we see what we don't like in other people in us and then we end up accepting it because it's like, oh well, I do that, he does that, we could do it. It is what it is, but it's like you're not learning. So the fact that you teach your patients how to learn and how to be observant of this, it's basically you telling them like, yo, take a second, pause, get yourself out of the situation and look at it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we look at things for what it is in an outsider's point of view, we are able to see the black, white, gray, and everything in between. We are able to go with those instincts, like you said, like earlier, like when we go and connect back with our instincts, then we know, like, you know what, this doesn't feel right. And the reason why it
Mhm.
doesn't feel right is because I have previous experience with this, and what has happened with that previous experience, or what has happened, what has come across, what was the end result, what was it? And you have to ask these hard questions, and you really have to sit it with yourself, because that's part of the healing journey, and that's how you learn to love yourself again, because you're able to forgive yourself, like, okay, I forgive myself. I forgive other people. Now let's keep going. Because we have to remember, like, we are only doing the best that we can, but we have to just keep learning and growing and evolving. And that's what maturity comes. We can't be
Mm.
stuck at age 12, at 42, because something's gonna be a red flag.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's harder to do, like, a lot of things in healing, I'm sure you agree, is they're very simple, but they're not easy.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to change patterns. Let's just say that. It's simple, but not easy. So, if someone's listening to this and they agree, but they've tried these things before, they've had therapy, they've read books or listened to podcasts, and they know what their attachment style is and all of those things, yet you're still attracting the same person with a different face. You're still seeing emotionally unavailable people come up in your dating life. You're
Yeah.
getting ghosted often. You are confused and frustrated in dating. There's a reason for all of that. And if you've tried everything, you're not alone. It is just a deep subconscious and unconscious patterning that is happening and going on that it can change. Trust me. Like, I'm sitting here talking to you because I have walked this path myself, and all of my
Yeah.
clients have as well. But it's just know that you're not alone. It is neuroscience and nervous system science that deeply ingrained beliefs, deeply ingrained behaviors, deeply ingrained thoughts, you can rewire them, but it takes time. It takes consistency. It takes support over a long period of time to make these new pathways. And so you can't do it alone most of the time. And sometimes, um, I always just like to say that because you can listen to a podcast and be like, okay, I can do this. And if you see a pattern happening, there is something happening inside of you, and nothing's wrong with you. This pattern is just there.
Yeah.
um, it's something that you can absolutely address, and you can rewire, and you can change, and then attract a dream partner without the drama if that's what you want to do.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's the thing, when people finally start giving themselves that time to do all of this, because it takes
Mm,
time.
it
You know
does
what I
take time.
mean? Like you
Hmm.
said, it's simple, but we do make it more complicated, because we like to put obstacles in front of us and situations in front of us, when, like, the end is right there. Think of it as just at
Does
the end of your
Yeah.
driveway. You know what I mean? It's just at the end of the
Not
driveway,
only
but
that, yeah, but I bet you identify with this too, Mitzi. Not only that, sorry to interrupt you.
you're
Not only
fine.
that, but women that have had to be hyper independent
Mhm.
their entire lives because of the environment that they grew up in, the career that they have pursued. They are you Whoever's listening, you are a badass. I know that. And what I also know is that the reason that everything else is working in your life besides your relationship is because actually of this hyper independent pattern that you've been running for a long time. And
Yeah.
so you are more than being a mom. You're more than being an executive. You're more than being a nurse. You're more than being a lawyer. Like, I can go through all of these women in my practice right now. Like, you're more than the C-suite executive. But the thing is that the same energy and the same drive that got you to where you are in your career is not working in your relationship and romantic life. And so that is where the kind of the remembering of who you are at your core helps you become the magnetic woman that you're supposed to be. So you aren't loved for what you do, but you're actually loved for who you are. And that's what I think I wanted. Every single woman that I talked to has wanted since they were born, right? And this is absolutely possible. It just takes time to rewire that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another thing to mention is um not to get jealous or not to get displace yourself for where you are in your single season, because
Mm,
you I feel like embracing your single season is something that we all need to do, because I am beyond grateful for my single season. Oh my
hmm
god, I am beyond grateful. Those years, woo, I had so much fun and I had so much learning opportunities and I had so much that has built me, where now that I'm in this relationship and I'm loved, it just makes me realize like, wow, I had a good moment, but now I'm ready for this stage. And we have to not pulling into our single life when we are in a relationship. And I think that's another issue, is that this envious, that it's like this tug of war between people who are in a relationship, want to be single, and then people who are single, they want to be in a relationship but they don't. And it's like it's this nonstop. And I feel like when you actually focus your mind and choose what you really want, then that will help you really embrace this single season, because you learn so much about yourself and other people in such a way that you realize how much we work together. Like the world is actually very small, and we it's a
hmm
community. And even if you don't even want to date anybody in your hometown or in your city or whatever, that's fine. Go travel, take a cruise, do whatever you got to do. You know what I mean? Find your person. But at the end of the day, don't give up and don't lose hope and don't be envious, because somebody told me that when you see people around you getting engaged, when you see people around you having children, when you see people around you in a relationship and are finding joy and are happy, don't lose hope, because that just means God's in your area and you're next. It's
hmm
coming up, you know. So I held on to that. And when I met my fiance, it was just like another, it was weird, because I went into a mechanic shop that I called, because I just moved into Austin, and I was just trying to call to find the best pricing to get my car serviced so that I can get my register my car and to do the emissions. And when I called the guy that picked up, he was really sweet. He was very confident. He was very direct and honest. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to him. And when I went to him, that's the man that you know what I mean? That's the man that I now have, and I
So
have two
good.
kids, and I love this man like no other. And it just
Mm,
happened in a way that it was effortless, you know what I mean? And
mm,
usually those are the stories that are just priceless, you know, and that's what we
mhm.
want. We don't want a story about, oh yeah, we met on Hinge, or oh, you know what I mean? You want to like, oh, my hot dog fell and he picked it up and it was meant to be, or
Yeah,
some
yeah,
something
yeah.
corny.
Yeah, I mean, the moral of the story is like, this podcast is called Let's Think About It.
Yeah.
And I would say let's be about it, which
Yeah.
means, be the woman in your daily life you that that really is aligned with who she is, aligned with her worth, her value, her discernment, her intuition, her body, her mind. This doesn't have to be like 100% of the time. Like everybody messes up. We're all human. But, I like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, 80, 85% of the time if I'm who I am, like, and I have love and compassion when I mess up and all of those
Yeah.
things, then that does happen. It happens all the time. It happened to me too. Like I met my dream partner as well, and I met him in real life. I didn't have to be on the apps, but I did learn on the apps. I learned a lot on the apps. But it's this big, it really is this becoming, it's this deeply ingrained in your body knowledge of I am worthy of a love that I've never experienced before, and that is it's it's the thing that, especially if you come from a any kind of like trauma or abuse or anything in your background in your past, or even like being modeled, maybe not a great healthy relationship from your parents, is that we really seek a love that we've never felt before. And the thing is that we can't attract what you're saying, Mitzi, is like we cannot attract that which we desire It's the basic law of manifestation is the inside has to be aligned first until we can attract it on the outside. It's not the other way around. So people
Exactly.
go on the outside searching for things like a romantic partner or a good job or money or whatever it is, but in this case, a romantic partner, so that they feel they as an expectation for wanting to feel a certain way on the inside. But that's just not how it works. In order
Mm,
to be a beacon for what it is that you most desire, there has to be an alignment of, again, your body, your mind, your soul, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs that all line up with who you are as a beautiful person, a beautiful human being. Like I always knew I've always had a loving heart. I've known that. I've always been sweet. I've always been kind. But that got me into trouble in
mm,
most of my life because I would accept people that weren't good for me. I
yeah.
didn't know how to discern who was good for me and who was bad for me. So what happened is I started to mistrust myself. I started to
Mm-hmm.
mistrust myself and then I started to mistrust other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that created this wall inside of me where um I can meet anyone. I could probably, I'm sure you're the same way. And I'm sure every woman, that is listening is the same way. Like you can get people, but
Yeah, it's
can
not that
you connect?
hard.
Yeah, like, it's not hard, but can you connect with people in the way that you want to be connected? And it's all about what's happening on the inside of you. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about, are you able to be vulnerable and honest with yourself? Are you able to see and hear and understand and love the different parts about yourself, even the parts that you don't like? Like whether that
Mm,
be your body, whether that be, I don't know, your anxiety, whether that be whatever it is. But again, it's such a delayering and like kind of like unraveling process, this healing
yeah.
process inside of us where we become this beacon and the magnetic woman that we are meant to be.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness, you stated it so perfectly. It's like a cursive letter, like, oh, okay.
Yes.
It just that's a little weird description, but that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
Mhm.
But I think it really holds value. You know what I mean? Value that we need to remember that we hold already within us, that we just have to just look within, look within and
Mm.
just we will be able to find that. We just need to give ourselves the time, the benefit of the doubt, and just like you said, have that compassion. I mean, we can be so compassionate and loving with other people, but let's turn it
We are
around and
really
have
mean to ourselves.
exactly, so cruel. Oh, so
Hmm.
cruel. Why don't we
Hmm.
we turn those thoughts, those words into something kinder so that you can heal your soul? And I
Hmm.
think it's a beautiful thing because I'm seeing my husband starting to fix his intrusive thinking because um I keep reminding him like I don't tell you that. I never said those words never came out of my mouth. So that's something that
Hmm.
you're thinking, and I
Hmm.
have to speak kinder to him and I have to remind him like we're a team and I have to remind him that I
Hmm.
love you, so I will serve you. I will be there for you. I'm not going to leave you. Like this is the end for us, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
this is not something that we're gonna play with. And I think when we have those ground and those rules and those understandings in line, you allow yourself to be free. You allow yourself to be free in your relationship when you're ready to be in a relationship,
Hmm.
because then that's a different type of awakening within yourself because you
Hmm.
didn't realize you had this. So it's like when you said earlier about those independent women, like when you're ready to actually be in a relationship, you're going to be differently. It's not going to be independent differently. It's going to be a whole different unity together. And
Hmm.
you will learn more about yourself. And it's a beautiful thing. So yes. Oh my goodness. I'm sad because
Yeah.
the time is catching up to us.
Yeah.
And I feel like we could go down this rabbit hole and talk some more. So I'm gonna have to figure out another excuse for you to bring you back, Lily, so that we can continue on talking. But to start wrapping up the show, what can be some lasting words of wisdom that
Mm.
you can leave us off with?
Yeah. I would like, whoever's listening and kind of in this pattern of stuckness, in this pattern of you cannot seem to attract the right people. You cannot seem to find a partner that's emotionally available. You find yourself overthinking or in anxiety, and you kind of just resigned yourself to this life and that the way this is, that I want to tell you and encourage you that there is a better way. There's a better way. And if you're listening to this podcast, you likely have tried things like therapy, like listening to podcasts, like books, talking to your friends and your family ad nauseum. And the opportunity is for parts of you to be open up to a better way of healing, of coming into alignment, of even adapting some modern dating tactics and strategy, which is, we do that a lot in my programs too. But we really start with relaying and filling all the cracks in the foundation of who you are and what it means to be who you are, right? And I know that if you're listening, that you want to be loved for who you are. You don't want to be loved for what you do. And it does take time and it takes some repatterning. It takes some consistency and some effort, and it takes you to show up. So it is possible. So there is a better way. You don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, it is. You really don't have to do the same thing over there. You don't have to settle either. Because if you're at the point of settling, then honey, this is like an emergency. You have to come talk to
It's an
somebody. You have to,
emergency.
you know what I mean?
It's,
Red flag. Do not
yeah,
settle, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
I don't care if you're a man or a woman or a horse or a turkey. I don't care what you want to claim. Do not settle because it's not fair for your
hmm
soul. It's not fair for the other person. It's not fair
No,
for
or your
humanity.
kids or your future kids, or,
Mhm.
like find a purpose that is bigger than you and latch onto that. For me, it always has been, and now it's grown because I've grown in my purpose, which is this isn't for me anymore. This is for my future family. This is for when I first started this work, it was for my niece and nephew. And then, it's becoming a generational pattern breaker. It's
Yeah.
becoming a cycle breaker. So,
Yeah.
so that is the thing that pushes me forward when I really want to stop, when I don't want to show up, when I don't want to do the thing that a part of me is telling me that I don't want to do, even though another part is like, you should do this, is the purpose of either this or I um will be continuing the same thing, right? And so we
Yeah.
all have the ability to grow and change and transform. One of my programs is called Ascension. We all have the ability to ascend to the highest level of our spiritual awareness, our spiritual knowledge, our mental health, the growth and the self-love, the integrating it into our behaviors and our actions so that we can be aligned with who we are and what we do.
Absolutely. See, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the good stuff. We're giving you the good stuff. Hopefully, y'all have been taking notes, like making sure you guys were understanding exactly what was being said because this needs to marinate in your soul to remind you that you are loved, you are whole, and you are beautiful, all that you are. And you can find somebody out there to do that. I have Lilli here. Reach out to her. I have her lovely photo on my website where you can have access to her website so that you can see all the great things that she has to offer the world so that you can obviously continue on thinking. So, with that
Mhm.
being said, bye.